So you attribute it to the amount of airtime you have now, plus the fact that Mr. Lamont's decision to ignore debates?
Well, I think, listen, I think there are a number of factors. Number one, we've put out 5 or 6 major policy pieces since June 2nd. We're stronger on policy. Our message is clearer, and we do have money to put behind that message. But if we didn't have a better message, we wouldn't be closing this gap, and we are. I also think, realistically, that the Lamont people miscalculated. They thought that the price they would pay for canceling a debate might be 1 or 2 days of bad press. The people of Connecticut expect debates. They certainly expect you to honor your word when you accept one. And I think that this is also reflective of that.
Polls have usually a low turnout, so that means somebody who strategically gets the vote out can win. Do you have a game plan for that?
Yes, we have a strong game plan for that. It began by winning the convention by over 2 to 1. And building on the organizations within local parties. But the real strength of our campaign is we have better and stronger ideas that we communicate to people. And prime voters don't need to be begged to go to the polls. They're going to show up. They care about the Democratic Party, they care about the future of their state, and they're going to vote for me.
For all that you just cited, you're still, even though it's tightening, you're still behind in the polls. So is there work ahead yet?
Oh, sure. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm a lot closer at this point in this race than I was 4 years ago. And at least John DeStefano would debate.
Can you talk about the fact that the Democrats seem to be having a bigger edge over the Republican opponents based on the poll results?
Well, listen, I watched some of the Republican debate yesterday, and I'm not surprised that the Democrats have a lead.
What does that mean?
It means that I think we have a message that resonates with the people of Connecticut. I certainly have a message that resonates with the people of Connecticut. These guys want to outgrim one another. And I think there's hope and a future for Connecticut. You know, they're vying to be captain of the Titanic. I want to launch a new ship.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what you think of all the infighting going on between the Republicans?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I just, you know, listen, I hope they spend the next few weeks doing just the same.
How important is it the support of unions you're getting now, particularly the SEIU? I mean, people who tend to come out and really help in elections.
We are picking up support and momentum every day. I think that's reflected in the polls. I think it's reflected in the support that's coming our way. I remember, you know, there were skeptics in the press who didn't think that this race would tighten. Well, guess what? It just did. There were people out there, I'm sure, who don't think I'm going to win. Well, guess what? I'm going to.
The Q poll that's out today, as I'm sure you know, it's a little different than the previous one. So you got to be a little tricky. You got to be a little careful, I guess, in making those comparisons. Do you have your own comparisons as far as your own polling?
This poll is consistent with our internal polling. Our own internal polling always had us substantially closer than polls that were not going after prime voters. We, you know, the Lamont people and the Malloy people all know to a pretty high extent or percentage who's going to vote in this election. When you're not a multimillionaire and when you're not living within the confines that I've had to live with, you concentrate on communicating with the people who are most likely to vote. That's why I won the convention 2 to 1. That's why I'm going to win this primary.
Do you have polling that would justify a claim that you have momentum? I mean, do you have more than one poll that would...
We have our own internal poll, and we have this poll, and they are consistent with one another. I think I'll beg off using the word that you just used. Maybe I shouldn't have earlier. I feel really good. I think that what's happening today, this is like a switch that goes on. And people are now going to start concentrating on this race. And what I want them to remember is that we have better policy, we have a better message, and we have a messenger who's willing to debate. We have someone who's weaker in policy, weaker at delivering a message, and I'm not sure I should use the word afraid, I won't, unwilling to debate.
Did you get any feedback from any of the union folks that his unwillingness to debate was a factor, not a dominant factor, but was that anything that you've heard that it bothered them?
You are such a nice person. I would want to give you the answer you're looking for, but no, I have not gotten that feeling. All right, thank you all very much. Take care.
Where are you going forward with this whole court issues around the SEC? And
No, I feel, listen, this primary is going to be had. The legislature will act. The system will remain intact. People in Connecticut want that system. I support that system. Actually, Ned Lamont, before he was running for governor, he supported the system.
Right. I mean, they're already saying if you're stuck with, 3 million.
We won't be stuck. I mean, listen, the legislature will act. They understand what's at stake, both Republicans and Democrats. They're honorable people. We'll get this resolved. On the other hand, I'm doing pretty good against Republicans.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.